I'm Robert Riordan, and this is my voice. You do not have to be rich to invest in real estate. You really need to do certain things to get involved and have some strategies to succeed. I'm going to try to explain some great points in helping you build wealth. For a beginner, it takes knowledge and trusting a good realtor if you're going to buy something. Real estate is a good way for passive income. A good way is to invest is to live below your means and have a great plan. You also should get a good advisor to learn everything possible. I learned from a lot of realtors and financial experts. One of the guys' name was Fireball, but he knew his business. Real estate gives a great diversification. It can blend well with stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. The all-time favorite of buying a house is a 3-bedroom and 2-bath. You buy it, then fix it up and sell it like it is. The major problem is the cost going into it, like real estate commission, repairs, taxes, insurance, and other expenses, which reduces your profit. The first thing is the closing statement. A lot of people go into closing without even knowing what's going on. Each time I closed on a house, I had questions on the numbers and what was going on, and not realizing what was there. And of course, all that cost can kill you. When you're closing on a house, you should have some extra money for anything that might come up, like repairs before the closing that has to be done. Something always comes up. You never know. I know that when I closed on one house, I had to fix a leak in the roof. Not a major cause, but it just came up. You never can tell. It came up. You got to expect the unexpected. It was a little patch job, but it had to be fixed before you could sell it. It wasn't very much money, but how about a major expense? And you never know what might happen. I had to go to the internet, learn how to check property values. There's several websites to check which give you good information. You did not know, but looking at houses with the same attributes as the ones that you're thinking about buying, I went and looked at all areas to get ideas to help me. The school districts are very important, including shopping centers and major highways coming through to look to increase your property value. I asked a lot of questions of owners in the neighborhoods to see what their input could help. And again, I spent a lot of time on the computer, which can put you to sleep, but it's a good way to get information. I checked out 3 banks for their best prices and the facts about their history to make a judgment on which one I was going to use. And of course, you know this, when you're buying real estate, it is a buy and hold process that you need to know a lot about. You know that the prices are going to go up and they're going to go down. You got to be ready for it. I made sure that my cash flow was making money, not losing. When the real estate boom went bust in 2008, I was not sure nothing would go wrong, but it did. The type houses you're going to be investing in, or you should be looking at, is single family houses, condos, and townhomes. Ones that can be fixed up and to be sold or rented is the main objective. Just from my personal experience, check the vacancy rates in the areas where you're thinking about buying to get a great idea of what's going on. You want that money coming in. If you get a property manager, it could cost you about 10% each month of your net rental income, which you got to watch out for. Your rentals will probably give you headaches, but that is part of the game. Of course, they might not pay, and they could tear up the place. The best story I can tell you about one of my renters was that they couldn't pay me for a month. I asked him why. I said, "What happened?" He said he spent the money on booze and women. I said, "They ain't gonna cut it," so he left in 2 weeks. At least he was honest. Appreciation is what everybody wants because it's the house. When the house increases in value, this will make you rich down the road. When you get into real estate investing, it's a slow and a lot of hard work and time and a lot of hours. You should have some experience if possible because it takes knowledge to make the right moves. You could say this is Real Estate Investors 101 for real estate investing beginners, and this is very difficult. I remember my first real estate deal. Boy, did I have a lot to learn. Trying to look at the closing statement as followed what the numbers were was foreign to me. You got to look at all those properties and figure out which one was the best one for you, which was hard. And how should you send an offer to someone if it's high, or is it the offer too low? A new way of investing is join some online investing groups that loan people money to fix up houses and pay the loans back. It's just a new way of making money. It has a regulation that these groups must be registered and also come up with 200,000 when you're making those type loans. The old way is to set up partnerships with a few other people to invest in properties, which is a good way of doing it if you trust them. You're spreading the risk around, which is a good start for beginners to learn. Of course, you need to prove that you can pay the monthly bills when you go to get a loan. If you're self-employed, maybe a banker is going to be looking at 2 to 3 years of tax returns given to him, where a W-2 employee can probably get by with 2 years. Real estate is a great way to guard against things I love from a personal point, which is inflation, and when it's rising, so is your real estate property. And of course, if you're going to borrow money, then it's great for collateral and to secure funding from a bank. Real estate helps to get cash and, of course, a mortgage. The main thing to do before buying is figure out how much profit you're going to make to have an idea when you sell it. I always look around the neighborhoods for ideas what might be going on in there. What is around the property that you're thinking about buying? Is it low income? Is it crime? Is it urban life? Is it the things that you want? Other things like the highways, again, the schools and the malls, check the vital statistics from several sources online or go down to the courthouse and find out what's going on. This plays a major influence in your decision, of course. The city or county government has major controls over the zoning or anything else going on in the area that you must be aware of. Yeah, and of course, what kind of financing are you going to get? FHA, VA, out in the country? What kind? Of course, you want to get qualified for a loan before you start looking for a home or a house. There's nothing worse than looking for a loan and you're not qualified. Of course, you need to take care of that before you start anything. It's a waste of time if you cannot afford it. Even though if you don't like it, I would suggest you get several loan requests taken care of to see what's going on. And this won't hurt your credit scores. If you get 3 or 4 of them done within a 30-day period, it'll stay the same. The other key is when you do this, you get more than one appraisal. One is just not enough. You need to have 2 or 3 of them. How much is maintenance cost going to be in the property going to be? You got to get a real good idea of that or they'll kill you. And you got to get someone to inspect the houses for you that's got the knowledge to give you the numbers. People ask about down payments. That's another major concern. Down payment can go anywhere from 5% to 25%, just depending on the type loan and what you qualify for. If you put down 20%, you can avoid the PMI insurance that you can on some of the loans. You can avoid extra fees per month by doing this. I know you know this, but it all boils down to location, and again location. I try to explain all these points that you're going to need to help you to try to make the right decision. If you got a good game plan, take your time, you will succeed. Follow these points and review some of the masters of real estate's advice and get started.